Okay, today's the Maiden flight day. This morning I got up and I programmed all the ESCs, and everything runs in sync when you run it through the hub. But there seems to be a slight problem with my flight controller. I don't know if it's the Arduino settings or if it's the sensor on board the flight controller card. I just turned my radio on. When I power up the motors with the throttle, after I arm it, there it's armed, power up the motors, and they all start up just fine, but then left front and the right rear, those two right there, they just start losing speed and stop. So, and the other two, they keep running around, humming along, just like no problem. So here we're going to do that once. Now you can hear this one and that one slowing down. Won't be long, they'll both be stopped all the way. Okay, that one just, well, wait a minute, they're not stopping now. Oh wait, it's okay, it's this one right here. Yeah, these two keep running, I'm sorry. And that one are stopped. Why? I don't know. Now, if you use the yaw, you can make them all do everything at full speed. They all work. Oh, I just disarmed it by accident. Okay. I don't have any problem when I'm moving the stick around. They all run just fine. I'm hoping what the problem is that when it's just sitting here still here on the flat table and nothing's being done, see, they just stopped again. That one's dead, and that one's dying. Them two still running. Well, that's all I can really do is hope that it's the sensor on board that knows that the multiwii isn't going anywhere or doing anything. So it's just idling those motors. I don't see as that it should be doing something like that, but we're going to take it out and test fly it and prepare for a flip. And hopefully once it takes off and the sensors start working and doing things, this motor and that motor will keep running. But I'm not sure. They're all the ESCs they're not at fault, and it's not the motor's fault. It's either the Arduino code or the multiwii flight controller. Either that, there's nothing wrong. We'll find out. Alright, I just put the blades on for the first time here since I've reconfigured everything. They got a different locking setup, way better apparently. These are Esna nuts, that's what they're called. They're nylon inserts, they're not going to back off. So I can't plug this thing and turn the radio back on until we're out at the flying area. I already forgot something. Oh well, this is just a quick hover test anyway. Okay, this thing could very well just, for all I know, crash. It probably will, because there's something funny going on with the motors that I haven't been able to figure out. I already explained on this video a little earlier while we were at home with it. I basically gave up on trying to diagnose the problem because I can't figure it out. So we're going to see if maybe it's the sensor messing with the motor speeds or something. Something that just the flight controller can deal with. Okay, so now I'm going to arm it. Let's stand well back because I don't know what it's going to do. Kind of windy out here. Oh, I don't even have the radio on. Okay, it's armed now. Okay, here's the initial liftoff, I think. I'll wait for this Exactly what I thought was going to happen. Alright, here we go.
Oops.
Exactly what I thought was going to happen. Alright, I'm not surprised that happened. Probably will again. Alright, there's something I have to fine tune in Arduino probably, so that's it for today. I broke a motor. Okay, here's the damage from the first flight crash, which I was totally expecting to happen. So all it did really was break the motor mount. And it's got a few little dings in the paint on the multi-star. And the prop that was on that particular motor took a beating. Didn't break or anything, but it chewed it up pretty nicely, so I'll probably switch props for the second attempt, whenever that may be. I can't see it happening anytime soon. I did go back into the settings on Arduino and I noticed that the receiver, the radio, or I think it was receiver type or the transmit type, was probably not set right. I'm hoping that's all it is. We're setting it up right, and we're gonna give a motor test and see if that fixed our little weird motor problems. And I don't know, who knows? We'll figure it out someday. I don't give up. Is it going? Okay, I'm having an issue with my multicopter. It's a multiwii Pro. Everything's set on it, and I calibrated the ESCs. When I use the throttle, I have a Q brain, and when I use the throttle hub, all the motors spin up fine together. You know, you hit the throttle on the remote, and all the motors will go up to full throttle, and you back off, and it all goes down. Problem I'm having is once I hook up my my Q brain to my flight controller, which is these wires here, and then I use my radio and my receiver to try to control the motors, I have an issue that happens, and here's what it is. I'm armed right now. If I hit the throttle and go to full throttle, all four motors will go to full throttle. When I back off the throttle, if I get to half throttle, that motor right there, that one over there, stops. Then, if I back off just a little touch more than a half throttle, this one stops. These two keep spinning just fine. Alright, and then, if I use my yaw control, I believe that's what it's called, you go left, and then this motor and that motor spin great. And then this one and this one will stop. And if you go right, those two will spin and those two will stop. So I don't know what's going on. Here, let me demonstrate. So I got it armed, full throttle. All the motors run fine. Nobody's slowing down. Nothing bad happening. Okay, now I'm going to go half throttle. Now that one there is going to power down. It stopped. This one here is still spinning up fine. The minute I touch the throttle, it'll stop. Bam, it stopped. Those two still spinning fine. No problems at all. They throttle down real nice. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to go yaw that way. These two will start up. Whoa, they spin great. Nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with the ESC. There's something to do with my radio and my multiwii. The way the transmission's being picked up. Now if I go right throttle, those two will stop. And the other one's run. Oh, that one's actually still running now. I don't know. I'm having some kind of throttle issues with the motors and the mixing, and if anybody out there knows what's going on with this thing, I'd appreciate a comment. Look how smooth they're running now. That's at half throttle. Look, now it's working. That one's not stopping. There. Okay, it still stopped. Well before the other one. What else to ask? There it goes back to its old self again, slowing down and stopping. All the other three run. Oh, that one's not even running now. I don't know what to say or what to do. If anybody has any, this is a Turner G9X radio and receiver. Like I said, on a multiwii Pro 3 board. I don't know if it's in my Arduino settings or in this between the radio and that. But if anybody has any help, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Going? Okay, I just discovered something here with my throttle relation to my craft. When I go full throttle, all the ESCs power up all the motors all the way full throttle, and you can tell, like that. Okay, they're all going pretty much full blast. Now, when I throttle down halfway, this motor and this motor responds to the first half of the throttle range. Okay, half range, they're stopping. There, they're stopped, pretty much stopped. Does that one stop? Yeah. Okay, that's half throttle range right there. Now those are still full throttle. They haven't even touched, they haven't gone down at all. Then you take it down to 0 on there. I don't understand that one. So basically what I have is upper half of the throttle range controls these two motors and lower half controls these two, and I have no idea why it's doing that. And if there's anybody that can help me with this, I'd appreciate a comment. Thank you. Alright, one of the steps in my troubleshooting process was to redo Arduino somewhat and I went through like 30 settings on there and alternated between on and off and this setting and that setting. Nothing seems to work with that throttle problem I'm having. But I figured, okay, well maybe the ESCs aren't calibrated or something. So I went back and I recalibrated them. Right now they're hooked up on the throttle hub, and they start up, everything runs in sync. When I give throttle, all 4 motors start perfectly and all 4 motors stop perfectly, which means the ESCs are working fine. Full throttle, they're all running full throttle. Half throttle, they're all running half throttle. Quarter throttle, they're all running quarter throttle. Off, they all stop rotating at practically the same second. So, I don't know what the problem is. It's something in the controller board. The radio going to the receiver is working fine, obviously. That proves it. So at some setting in my flight controller, the Arduino, that is messing with my throttle settings, where 2 of the motors go half throttle before 2 of the motors even start up. Well, no, what happens is they all start up and they all go to half throttle, and then 2 of them throttle down from that point, and you just can't take off like that because they're not putting out the same thrust. So I don't know what to do here, and I'm asking for help. Well, the problems continue. For some reason the LED is losing its flashing pattern. It's acting really strange. This one's still working good, and that one still seems to be working good. That one's out completely, and this one's like freaking out. Alright, and then there's another thing. for some reason, I upgraded the PID control on the Arduino, and it fixed the motor issues except for on one motor, and that's this one. So I figured, okay, I crashed that side. That motor's probably bad. So I took it off, switched it out with another 980 kilovolt motor. That one does the same thing. So I switched it with another one. I had 4 to choose from. At least 2 of them were good. So then I switched it with another, and every motor I hooked up to that thing did the same thing, which is throttle itself down to 0, and it sort of doesn't want to run like the rest of them. I'm not sure what to do here. I fixed all the other problems. Now I got a new one. So seems like you fix the weakest link, then the next weakest link gives. So anyway, I'm still working on it. I got 3 of them running the same. Here, I'll show that. It's armed, ready to go. That motor's running good. That motor's running good. That motor's running good. This one doesn't run at all, except for on startup. It'll start, but it won't keep running. It'll stop. There, it just stopped. The other 3 are humming along. They throttle down together. They do variable pitches and stuff, and everything seems to be working right except this motor right here. And it's not the motor, it's the speed controller. It's not the speed controller because I can hook the hub up, and they all run in unison. So it's got to be this Arduino board here, this multiwii Pro. There's something happening with one of them motors coming from there. That's the control signal.
What's your real name, Rachel?
Un momento. I don't know. Okay, I got a weird thing going on with this quadcopter. As you know, as I showed earlier in a video, it crashed. It seems to be some kind of a mixing issue with my Turnigy between this and my multiwii. At first I thought it was a bad pin 6 with affecting the motor on pin 6, but it doesn't seem to be that really in reality. Because okay, right now it's armed. Let's start the motors up. They're all started, they all run. And what happens is the motor that's running off pin 6, this one right here, will slow down. You can hear it zooming down right now. Stops. Other 3 run full throttle, no problem. Okay, that's bad enough. They all shut down, they all start up together. That one just shuts down. Now if I hold the throttle to the upper right and then hold the other stick upper right, I get that motor runs just great. That motor runs great, and that motor runs great. Now if I move my stick that way, that one will stop, this one will stop, then that one and that one will start back up, that one keeps running. And that's just simply from moving this stick back and forth I can get that motor to work. But any other way, it wants to stop. Now those 3 are running again. Okay, now one more thing. I can leave it like that and they'll run for a couple minutes, just like that. But the minute I do anything at all with the stick, that motor stops after that. Right now, just 2 motors running. Now 3 motors run. This one, and this one. And this throttle is full forward. I don't know what to do about this. This is absolute insanity with this, between this and that. So, like I said, if I go here, I get that half to run, that 2/3 or 3/4 to run. If I go there, I can get this 3/4 to run. This is all just too weird for me. I don't know what's going on. I might have something set wrong. I've done everything I can do in Arduino. Apparently it's not the controller card because it's controlling that motor just fine as long as you have extreme stick positions here. So I'm at a loss. No, all four of them are running, and they'll run like that for a minute, and that one will die. All four of them are running now. Go figure. There it goes. Why would it do that? It just stopped. It ran fine for about 20 seconds, then it stopped.